mag-ilang taon na kayo dyan. Never, nakaka-experience kayo ng reset. Di ba? Wala kayo na-experience na reset kahit isa. Lahat kayo. Wala. Kasi ang last reset natin is 2011. And you have considered the lapse period. Ang appreciation natin is confirmation process. Ano po ba yung confirmation process? Yung true-up adjustment. Ang sinasabi doon is, adapt na lang natin yung letter ng Meralco saying that yung ating pong IAR, yung interim average rate natin is 1 peso and 38 cents. Iba to, ano na lang natin sa awat. Ibangga na lang natin at kung ano yung sumobra, yun ang i-refund natin. Is that the right methodology, Commissioner? Considering na sinasabi niyo that you are all for reset, but you have adopted the lapse period na 2016 hanggang 2022. And you also adopted the true majority vote. I'm not questioning. But the power of this committee is the oversight. Good government. Di ba? Doon sa inyong decision na isa pa rin, isinama nyo na rin sa lapse hanggang 2025 ng June. Kinonsider nyo lapse samantalang hindi pa tapos yung 2025 ng June. How can you do that? Sabi mo, sinabi nyo sa decision nyo, isama na yung 2022, ang lapse period, 2016 hanggang 2025 ng June. Lapse na ba ang June, Commissioner? Hindi po na, tinatanong kita, Commissioner Fuentes.
Sige po, sir. Actually, sir, we have already an order wherein the regulatory period of Meralco will be starting July 1, 2025. And then we have already asked Meralco to submit their application. And then
Okay.
we are also in the timeline of procuring the consultant that we are going to engage for the validation of the application, Mr. Chair.
Hire ng consultant, hindi nyo naman sinusunod yung kanilang recommendation. No, as tayo ng 60 million dyan, hindi nyo na nga sinunod yung kanilang sinasabi na double inflation. Oh, di ba? Mag-hire na naman kayo? Alam nyo, ayoko na magalit talaga. Masama pakiramdam ko ngayong araw na to. Yung lapse kasi, Commissioner, ang appreciation nyo is confirmation lang. Kinonfirm nyo lang yung 1 peso and 38 cents. Tapos, kinuha nyo yung awat, minus nyo yung interim average rate, kaya nag-refund ang Meralco. Ngayon, ang tanong ko, bakit kailangan kayong mag-lapse period whereas pwede naman kayong mag-reset? Di ba? Kaya nga pakiusap ko kanina madinig ko lang sa inyo na mag-ano kayo, ipangako nyo sa Kongreso to being an oversight committee. Di ba na? I-reset nyo yung lapse period. Hindi nyo siya i-consider Hindi nyo siya i-consider as confirmation process. Hindi true-up adjustment ang hinahanap namin dito. Kasi hanggang hindi nyo kinokorek yun, sequential nga tayo Ordinal numbers. May apekto Di ba? Commissioner? So, please, pakiusap. Kasi hindi nyo naman to kami malulusutan Ako talagang pinagbali-baliktad ko ng mga dokumentong ito. Talagang you have violated Section 23 and 34F of the APERA law. You have violated. May decision na ang Supreme Court, pero hindi nyo pa rin sinusunod. Because yun ang contention nyo, that yun ang appreciation nyo. And well, siguro tatanggapin namin yung decision nyo. Katulad nga sinabi ni Congressman Rufus, we cannot question the decision of the majority. It will steal your decision. Kasi quasi-judicial kayo. But, tandaan ninyo, mayroong paghuhukom. Hahabulin kayo ng pagkakataon. So, yun lang po muna, Mr. Chairman, kasi nga, hanggang hindi po binabago yung 1 peso and 38 cents na sinisingil sa taong bayan na supposedly dapat yan po ay sa bagong WAC na 8.97, according to, ayan, nagbayad din tayo kay Romulo Neri. Ang sabi ni Romulo Neri, ang WAC natin, nung kailan nyo sila pinrocure? Si Romulo Neri. O 2018. Sinabi nila, ang WACC nila, ang WACC kasi multiplier yan eh. Doon mo multiply para kumita sila eh. Pero ang kanilang computation is 1497. Na dapat, sabi ni Neri, hindi, 8.97 lang yan. O yun ayaw nila mabago. Kasi nga, ang taas ng profit. Di ba? So, baguhin natin yung 1 peso and 38 cents. Pakiusap ko sa mga regulator natin, baguhin nyo po yung lapse period ng 2016 hanggang sinasabi nyo yung 25 na lapse na yon, baguhin nyo po yung 1 peso and 38 cents. Pag hindi nyo po binago yan, hahabulin kayo ng mga congressman dito. Ayan, andyan na si Congressman JC Abalos. Ibibigay ko sa kanya ang lahat ng impormasyon. Andyan si Congressman Abante. Andyan si Congressman Rupus. Lahat ibibigay ko to para malaman niyo yung katotohanan na ako po ay hindi nagsisinungaling. Binabase ko po lahat sa dokumentong hawak ko na sinabit nyo sa ERC and yung audited financial statement po ninyo. Hindi po ako magkakamali kasi the documents will not lie, Mr. Chairman. Hindi po magsisinungaling to.
Akin na mo ibigay.
Hindi, I will let Congressman Abante.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
With the indulgence of Congressman Presley De Jesus, the Vice Chairman.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Meron lang akong
Kasi it's a one quick question because I have a couple of questions with the
meron
reason.
lang akong related
Yeah, go
dito
ahead.
kay
Yeah.
Congressman Fernandez. no?
Please proceed.
Kasi kinakailangan maging maliwanag sa taong bayan to eh, no? Unang-una, ano ba talaga ang reset sa ERC? At pangalawa, bakit hindi kayo nag-reset ng matagal na panahon? Yun ang dalawang tanong ko. Unang-una, ano ba talaga ibig sabihin yan?
Pakipaliwanag po yung ibig sabihin ng reset in layman's term.
Pangalawa, bakit hindi sila nag-reset ng matagal na panahon?
Na naayon naman sa batas. Okay. Nasa rules naman po ninyo. Please, Chairperson Monalisa.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Katulad na rin po ng pagpapaliwanag po kanina, maayos naman po yung pagpapaliwanag. Ang reset ay yung paraan po natin para sa ating mga regulated entities, transmission operator and distribution utility, para po marebisa yung kanilang mga sinisingil po sa atin mga consumers. So, yung pong batas, ang gusto po niyang mangyari, wag naman pong masyadong malikot yung presyo. So, ang inayon po niya sa EPIRA at sa mga nai-issue na po ng komisyon, ang paggalaw po dapat ay every 5 years sa transmission utility at sa distribution utility every 4 years. Meron pong, dahil po ang naging methodology ng reset ay forecast, forward-looking, meron po ding tinakda yung regulasyon na annual review para po makita kung yung pinangako nung utility na gagastusin niya para sa taong yon, ginastos ba niya talaga sa tamang paraan. Hindi po basta ginastos lang sa kung saan, madali naman pong gumastos ng pera. Pero yung tama po ba yung pinaggagastosan niya. So, pag po gumalaw yon, pwede pong mag-adjust ng konti. Pero ang gusto nga po sana kung mahusay yung utility, bahagya lang po ang mga paggalaw. Kasi ibig sabihin po nun, ginagawa niya yung mga pinangako niyang proyekto sa amount na pinangako niyang gagastusin niya. Or mas mababa pa kung mahusay po siyang utility. So, yun po yung reset. Tapos po, after 5 years or 4 years, magkikita ulit para sa isang malawakang pag-review nun pong kabuuan ng asset base at nung iba pa pong mga gastusin po nung utility. So yun po yung sagot po dun sa unang tanong kung ano po ba itong reset at bakit mahalaga po itong reset. Yung pangalawa pong tanong, kung bakit po hindi nakapag-reset ng matagal na panahon, baka po pasa ko po dun sa mga katulad po, nandito naman si Commissioner Non at yung mga ibang commissioners. Kasi po nung pagpasok ko po ng August 2022, sumabak na po kami agad sa reset. So ako po, masasabi ko po itong komisyon na to, nabanggit na rin naman po kanina, seryoso po kami talaga na tapusin itong reset. Ngayon yung sa past, hindi ko po masagot. Baka po sila na lang po ang magpaliwanag mo.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congressman De Jesus.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. So, follow up to Congressman Abante, no? You know, during budget deliberation, we passed the franchise of Meralco. And that was extensively discussed. We even questions during the budget kasi kasabay na inaprubahan yan. So, but that time, Mr. Chair, wala dun si Commissioner Non. No, this is the first time. That's why I was surprised he was here. I think this is the right time and right person to ask question. Because I remember vividly back then, Commissioner Non was the chairman of the head of the oversight committee with regard to rate reset. No, because prior to his time, si Commissioner Raul Tan, if I'm not mistaken, Rauf Tan, if I'm not mistaken, on time sila. So only during time of Commissioner Non, medyo nagkaroon ng delay. So I would like to ask Commissioner Non, ano nangyari? What really transpired during his time? Bakit doon lang nagsimula yung delay ng rate reset, Mr. Chair?
Okay. Commissioner Non, would you like to respond to that?
Well, in the first place, there is no such thing as oversight commissioner within ERC. We are a collegial
Whatever,
body.
maybe
We are a
my
collegial
term is
body.
wrong, Mr.
Okay.
Chair, pero siya pa rin ang...
No, there's no such thing. Anyway, after the third regulatory period,
What do you mean there's no such thing, Mr. Non?
wala pong oversight commissioners.
So what do you do then?
We are a
How
collegial
do you
body.
check and recheck?
We are a collegial body.
Yeah, I know, but how do you check and recheck
There is
if you're doing wrong?
wala po yung ano, it's a collegial body. So if the body is wrong, then it has to be brought up by somebody else to either to the courts or to the ombudsman, which is the proper forum. Okay.
Please continue.
So after the third regulatory period, going into the fourth reset, nagkaroon ng ibang problema yan. Going to the fourth regulatory reset, merong kaso na sinampaan na si Core sa Supreme Court regarding the third regulatory period. So during that time, from the time that it was sent to the Supreme Court, the ERC could not do its regular work because of the sub judice principle at that time. So we were discussing certain things, but on the regulatory reset, it was just moving, waiting for the decision ng Supreme Court on the regulatory asset base. And there were two other issues that were raised by Nasicore, including the appropriateness of operating expenses that have been charged to the case. No? But beyond that, I think the problem as far as reset is concerned is the PBR itself. It is a very complicated process, and that there is no expert as far as ERC is concerned. Okay, so what happens is there are issues that are coming up that takes a long time to be resolved, like the RAB and the WAC. If there is somebody who is very familiar as far as the thing is concerned, the inflation and RAB thing that you were talking about would not have gone a long way before it was discovered. Actually, that RAB-WAC relationship was discovered by ERC only in 2019 or 2020, and that is when the ERC made the correction on the beginning RAB of Meralco that created a refund of 7.8 billion. That was the only time that the error was corrected. The other thing is in terms of the consultancy. Basically, for example, appraisal of assets, because the Supreme Court already ruled against the ODRC, why do we have to have a consultant on appraisal if replacement is not going to be used anyway? So it's something that we can save on as far as consultancy fee is concerned, because we are not supposed to be using ODRC anymore. Historical cost is something that is in the books of Meralco and something that could be certified upon by the external auditors of Meralco. The same thing is true with WAC. I mean, we could have consultants every regulatory period, but there is nothing in the book that says, or in the rule that says, we can have only one consultant for a certain period. There will be a range of rates that will be recommended And that will be applied for every institution, because not every utility entity will have the same WACC component or ending balance. But definitely, because of the economic and financial conditions are the same, that could be arranged.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Ay,
Yes, Congressman De Jesus.
Siguro, I just want to know, kasi sinasabi niya, there's no such complex daw eh. So, during his time, Mr. Chair, so nagkaroon ba na rate reset? Yung during time of those commissioner. Anong year po kayo doon, Mr. Commissioner, no? What year you were in?
2012 to 2018.
So, you were there for 7 years or 6
7
years?
years.
7 years, right? So, during that time, nagkaroon ba kayo ng rate reset from NGCP or any DUs?
No,
No.
no.
For 7 years. You mentioned that it's very complicated kung paano yan yung PBR. So, what happened? Bakit for the 7 years wala kayo? See, the problem is, it's been penalized ang NGCP and of course the private DUs including Meralco for 7 years. Bakit ngayon kanina, I heard from Chairman De Malanta, Mona Lisa, na they're already starting it. Kung sila nakapagpagawa. So, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, if I ask Madam Mona Lisa, you started 2022. So, how many years? Sa tingin mo, kailan kayo magkakaroon ng rate reset? Sa tingin mo lang. Not you, no, Commissioner De Malanta.
Opo. Yung sa NGCP po, patapos na nga po kami. Yun pong Meralco, ang commitment po namin ay by June tapos namin para masimulan po nila.
So, in short, Mr. Chair, yung ERC, you started 2022. It will take you what, 2 years? And Meralco, 3 years? Tapos na rin? Give or ano,
Hindi po yung sa
3 or
Meralco
more years.
po.
3 or 4
Meralco
years.
po, Mr. Chair, walang isang taon kasi po fast track po itong ginagawa.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Nung naupo si Madam De Malanta as commissioner, natapos niya within 2 years and the other was less than 1 year. During panahon ni Mr. No, I'm not blaming you, Commissioner, because collegial body kayo. 7 years kayo, ni isang rate reset, wala kayong nagawa.
I think you're appreciating in a different way. When
I
we
think
were
ERC same banana. Commissioner nung commissioner ngayon, pare-pareho lang
No,
kayo
no.
eh.
The
It doesn't
situation
matter.
is
Kaya,
different.
so what I'm trying to say, bakit wala kayong reset from 2012 to 2018? Yun lang naman tanong ko,
May
Mr.
I-
Chair.
I do not buy your statement that it's a different thing, no? So I don't buy that, Mr. Non.
That's why may I answer.
Just a moment, I'm still speaking. I don't buy that. You're answering us like you are very sure of what you're trying to do. You even corrected yourself. You said that, di ba? Di ba?
That's what I
You said a moment ago that there is a correction you made. Ibig sabihin, may error kayo.
No, the error was previously.
Oh, previously of what? Before your time?
Yes.
Oh, therefore, naniniwala ka, may error for your time. And you corrected that, di ba?
That's why I wanted to explain. The error happened during the period 2010 to the third regulatory period. That the final determination of the third regulatory period, which sets the rate for the third regulatory period, was finalized in June of 2011, before we came. So when we came, the third regulatory period has already been set. Okay. So if there was an error there, unless we try to go back, which we do not do normally, unless we go back, then that's the only time that we will see the error.
Mr. Chair.
Well, you said a moment ago, while you were explaining your time, na you corrected the error. Yun ang binanggit mo kanina.
We did not. They corrected it.
No.
Mr. Chairman,
The record actually state that, no? You made corrections to the error.
No, we did not.
Oh,
Mr.
you
Chair.
said that.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah,
Tapusin
we're
ko
gonna
muna.
have,
Sige,
sige.
we're gonna
Siguro,
have
kasi
Congressman
he keeps on saying
Jesus
na
first and then
I have
Congressman
nothing against Mr.
Fernando.
Former Commissioner No, kasi sinasabi niya, hindi nila pwede i-correct kasi previous na daw. Bakit si Chairman Di Malanta, naayos niya lahat? So, ibig sabihin, interconnected niya, parang domino effect. Pero si Madam Chair Mona, na-correct nila. So during 7 years, wala kayong ginawa. And they're making 350,000 a month pension nila. Tapos yun lang, hindi nila makorek yun. For 7 years, walang ginawa. Meanwhile, we suffer. And we keep on blaming Meralco, Dios, and even NGCP na dapat ang ERC ang gumagawa ng trabaho. Yun lang, Mr. Chair. I'll give the floor
Okay.
to
Yes,
Chairman.
Congressman
Sige,
Fernandez.
Chair?
with all due respect, with Congressman Presley De Jesus. Mr. Renon, kailan ba kayo naging commissioner?
Come again?
Kailan po kayo naging commissioner?
2000, August 2011.
August 2011.
Yes.
And the problem started when? Kasi alam nyo,
Before 2011.
kasi po, para balik uli natin, yung katulad na in-explain ko kanina, ang regulatory periods, Mr. Chairman, ano po yan, sequential yan eh. Ordinal numbers nga eh. Interconnected eh. Kapag nagsimula ka ng mali doon sa second regulatory period, sama-sama na yan, dire-diretso na yan, dire-diretso na. But if you will only see all the documents pertaining to the different exchanges of letters coming from the commissioners, coming from the Meralco, coming from the NGCP, and the actions that was taken by the ERC, makikita po niyo yung deliberate, yung pag-iwas para magkaroon ng reset. 13 years for NGCP and 15 years for Meralco. What do you expect? Sigurado, ayaw talagang magkaroon ng reset. Yun ang katotohanan dito. But kanina nga sinasabi ko, let's not blame anymore anyone, no? Let's move forward kasi nakikita naman natin there are intention to refund. Nakita ko naman merong refund pero hindi complete. Hindi siya complete because walang proper reset. Walang proper rate reset. Pinagtatakpan nila through confirmation process which is devoid of any documents pertaining to the actual computation to arrive doon sa tinatawag po nating taripa. Kung wala kang pagbabasihan doon sa gagawin mong charge sa consumer, paano naging methodology yun? Wala confirmation process that was approved for the lapse period, 2016 up to now. Nag-base lang sila doon sa tinatawag na i-confirm na natin yung 1 peso and 38 centavos na inaprubahan nila ng 2011 hanggang ngayon, kahit sa lapse period, dapat yan ang gamitin natin. And I think, yun ang sinasabi ko, nag-fail ang ERC dito. And, wag na po nating, ako, nakikita ko, Mr. Chairman, moving forward, kailangan natin magkaroon ng commitment from these people that will really have to have a methodology that will cater the actual computation of the rate for our people. As a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman, may babalik naman po Ang importante lamang yung lapse period na kinonsider nila na ito na ang taripa pero walang pinagbabasihang mga assets, walang pinagbabasihang tamang WACC, yun ang ginawa nilang computation. Yun ang ginawa nilang presyo. In other words, Mr. Chairman, 1 peso and 38 centavos, yun na. Yun na ipasok natin sa lapse period. Is that just and reasonable? Hindi po reasonable yun. And in violation of Section 43 of the EPIRA and also Section 23 to give consumer electricity in the least cost manner.
The Chairman?
Yes. Before I recognize the Honorable Rufus, isang tanong lang po. Sino po ang tumatawag ng reset? Kaninong call ang reset?
Chair, if I may answer.
Yes, please, Madam.
Sa isang regular pong proseso, hindi na po talaga nasa rules po yung timeline po ng reset. Nakakasa na po yun dapat.
Hindi, tama po. Pero syempre, kahit naman nakalagay dyan, kung wala naman tumatawag, sino may obligasyon na tawagin ng reset?
ERC po, yung sa issues paper na
So,
simula.
dapat nilagay po ninyo yun sa calendar ninyo.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Dapat
may,
po.
I have read the RTWR and RDWR. According to RDWR, 18 months prior to the statutory deadline, kailangan ng regulated entity like Meralco and NGCP will file a position paper. 18 months prior. Ang tanong, did you file 18 months prior to the statutory deadline ng position paper? Kapag hindi kayo nag-file in accordance with their own rules na ginawa ng ERC, then may violation ang
Ibig sabihin,
regulated
kailangan
entity.
muna mag-file muna
Mag-file
sila
ng position paper.
bago tatawagin ng
Yes,
reset.
because it is, yung rules po kasi,
Is
Mr.
that the
Chairman,
proper procedure?
Mr. Chairman, ang proper procedure, the rules RTWR and RTWR are being published. Pag pinpublish po yan, makikita na ng mga regulated entity. At sasabihin, 18 months before, kailangan mag-apply na tayo, kailangan may position paper tayo. And then, they will conduct a public hearing. At pag nag-conduct sila ng public hearing, makikita nila lahat doon. And then, lahat ng regulatory asset base, the weighted average cost of capital, the depreciation and everything will be put into order. Ang problem, Mr. Chairman, kung hindi sila magbibigay ng position paper 18 months prior, there is already a violation.
The Honorable Rufus Rodriguez is
Mr.
recognized.
Chairman, the ERC is mandated every 4 years for DUs to set the regulatory reset proceedings. The problem is, you can see the NGCP and the Meralco waiting for these results because this particular process, because if there are no rules in the case of the DUs and the rules on the setting of the wheeling rate, there can be no process. They cannot submit a position paper if there is none. The problem is here is Meralco ERC has failed. They have failed to timely conduct and perform regulatory reset. And Commissioner Non was there during all this time. And then there has been no reset. How can we blame the regulated agencies like NGCP and the Meralco, the Group A, Meralco, Sipalco from the City of Golden Friendship, and the others, when there is no regulatory process? So therefore, in fact, ready always, and they have also filed when there is one, then they do it. Mr. Chairman, we are barking up the wrong tree if we are going to fault the regulated agencies like the NGCP and the Meralco. It is ERC. If there is any agency that we should fault here, and that's why if Chairman Dan Fernandez saying there is therefore, the consumers are therefore have the road deal here, it's not the fault. That's why the regulated agencies, they wait for this ESG. May I ask our chairperson, did we have really the process conducted for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th regulatory period?
Chairman Mona Lisa, you are recognized.
Mr. Chair, we are conducting the
On the fifth.
processes now.
Yes.
4th and 5th po sa NGCP and 5th
Fifth,
for
yeah.
Meralco.
Kasi lapse period na nga eh. Lapse period meaning, Mr. Chairman, that there is failure of the ERC and that's why they cannot comply. That is the actuality of this. But in spite of that, there was a IAC and there is a interim average rate. Meralco has already refunded a total of 48 billion because on their own, they came out and say, we would like to make sure already that there's already a interim rate, average rate. And so Meralco is always waiting for the regulatory agency. In spite of that, during the lapse period, they were the ones who were able to have the interim average rate, and the ruling of the ERC was for Meralco to refund, correct? They were made to refund. How much was refunded by Meralco in spite of the failure of ERC to be able to put up this particular regulatory reset process? How much? Nagbayad lang Meralco sa mga consumers.
Maybe we can ask representative from Meralco. Magkano po yung binayaran ninyo?
Your Honor, we refunded a total of around 48 billion pesos.
Billion.
Yes, Your Honor, as a result of the declaration by the ERC of the original lapse period, consisting of 7 years. And we are proposing to refund again another about 19 billion pesos for the latest, as a result of the latest declaration by the ERC, that the 3 years of the original 5 RP is declared lapse period.
So who was the chairperson at that time of ERC? The one who should be
Chairman.
calling the reset.
Ay, marami na pong chairs po pinagdaanan po. I think the first period was Chair Ducot, and then there was Chair Salazar, and then Chair Agnes.
No, but
de
I think the
Benedicto.
issue here is not the first, the second. The issue is the fourth. Na hindi, third. Oh, so,
Hindi.
third and the fourth. So, sino ang chairperson nung third and fourth? Because yung first tsaka second, they did their job. So, yung third at tsaka fourth, I think we should invite them.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Congressman
I would
Abante.
think that the real issue here is this. Who is to blame? No, we cannot blame the new collegial body of the ERC, no? Because as according to Chairperson De Malanta, 2022 lang siya. So therefore, kung nag-reset na kayo, hindi ba ngayon, Chairperson, nag-reset po kayo. Therefore, kung nag-reset kayo, palagay nyo, nagkamali ba yung previous? Hindi, kung malaman, nagkamali ba yung previous? Sabihin nyo.
Kaya
Ay,
Sabihin nyo, nagkamali ba yung
Yes,
previous?
ma'am, sino ito?
Mr. Chairman, if I may add, no, para at least maging transparent tayo sa fair, no?
Yeah.
Kasi meron tayong mga carry over ng mga commissioners from the last batch of commissioners. And they were part of the decision making during that time na ito ang naging resulta. At until right now, yung kino-question po natin na decision nila para sa lapse period, again and again, sasabihin po natin, Mr. Chairman, talagang mali ang confirmation process that they have adopted. So siguro, tanungin natin, Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Maceda.
Oh, yes, si Commissioner Maceda.
Would you like to?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Siguro po to put the circumstances in proper context po, no? We need to remember that as far back as 2013, and this is November 2013, the Commission already issued a notice extending the deadline of submission of comments on the issues paper. So nag-post na po ang Commission noong 2013 pa lang. Comnon should have mentioned that earlier kasi time po nila yun eh. Naumpisahan na po yung proseso nung pang 2013. Nagtuloy-tuloy po yung proseso na yan hanggang sa umabot po nung around 2016, last quarter of 2016, na yung commission at that time directed Meralco actually to publish the draft rules for the fourth RP. I was waiting for Comnon to mention these circumstances eh. So, pinag-utusan, hindi ho nangyari, no? And there were issues raised by Meralco. It's not my position now to say kung tama ang dating komisyon o ang Meralco. That was before our time. But I was hoping that was mentioned by Comnon because doon po nagsimula lahat nitong mga backlogs na ito. Hindi nakapag-reset.
That's the reason why we wanted to know who was the chairperson at that time. Maybe he or she has a valid reason for not scheduling the reset. Or if
Opo.
maybe Commissioner Non
Mr. Chairman,
can ventilate this
Mr. Chairman,
issue to the
it is a matter that is so
Congressman
important. Ano?
Fernandez.
Ako, we're not blaming anybody, especially the regulated entity. But of course, katulad na nabanggit po ni Commissioner Maceda.
Ako, I have
And,
to blame somebody.
wait, Mr. Chairman. Kasi nga, ang feeling ko, sinasabi nyo, we're barking on the wrong tree. Because sumulat ito, I have a copy, no, nung sulat ng chairperson ng ERC, si Agnes de Banadera, nung July 2019, that yun na nga po na i-publish. But they never publish it eh. Yun ang problem. Is one of, yun yung isang mga requirements para yung rate rates, yung rule for rate setting, mag-start na. But because the Meralco never published it, and at the same time, noong 2011, meron ding sulat ang ERC na inuutusan sila to follow the rules and procedures on the asset valuation. But ang problem, hindi rin sila nag-reply. Will you kindly confirm this? Sino bang nasa panahon ng si Commissioner Non? Can you kindly confirm that the Commission ordered the Meralco to comply with the rules of procedures on the valuation of their assets because merong ang mali doon sa valuation. So did you done that na talagang inutusan sila?
Yeah, I would like to thank Commissioner Maceda for reminding. Actually, as she said, the fourth regulatory period actually should have started in 2016. And during our time, the process started 18 months before, which means 2013. So the position paper was there, the karoon ng mga hearings, and then we completed the amended rules for distribution wheeling rate sometime in 2016. But before it could be put into implementation, it has to be published for purposes of there is a legal term for to be in effect. So the order then was for Meralco and PEPOA to have it published, but it was not published even after repeated demands until nagkaroon ng bagong regulatory period in 2019. But before that, 2016, the ERC actually went into a internal problem. It started with the chairman then was Salazar. Chairman Salazar, after Ducot. Okay? But in 2016, we had an internal problem where one of our directors committed suicide. And nagkaroon ng investigations within ERC, what is the involvement of who, the chairman, and everybody. And that really threw up all the schedules. We have been called for investigation in the NBI, Congress, Senate, and there was a time when all the commissioners were even suspended for 3 months. So that really disrupted all the schedules from 2016 until the chair, Agnes de Banadera, was appointed in 2017. So that's basically where we could start again under a new chairmanship, Agnes de Banadera, sometime in August or September of 2017. The disruption in 2016 was really a big blow as far as the Queensland is concerned, because practically most of the time we could not do anything because of disruption. But the reset itself for the fourth regulatory period was started, but it was not implemented because of the non-publication of the rules in 2016.
Yes, thank you.
May I continue? I am not yet finished, Mr. Chairman. So let us ask the Meralco to answer the allegation that you did not publish what was required of you. Is that part of the reset process?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I
Yes,
respond?
Attorney Valles.
Yes, to clarify lang po, totoo ho na meron nilabas na sulat ang ERC through then officer in charge Commissioner noon na directing Meralco, not only Meralco, but also all distribution utilities, no, PEPOA, to publish the fourth RP. But as we have relayed, sinabi po namin kay Commissioner noon yun through our various letters to them na meron kaming mga issues doon sa fourth RP. And as part of the constitutional right of every person like Meralco to exercise its due process, we raised those issues before the ERC, and we were waiting for the ERC to resolve it. In the meantime, nag-file po kami ng sulat sa ERC, nagre-request kami ng meeting para mapag-usapan namin yung mga issues na yon, which Commissioner noon in his reply to us said na ina-acknowledge niya yung issues na ni-raise namin at he set the meeting no on a particular date para mapag-usapan daw namin yung issues or yung mga clarification or reconsideration na hinihingi namin doon sa rules. No, unfortunately, hindi po nangyari yung meeting na yon dahil nga sa akin pong palagay, dahil po yun yung nagkaroon na sila ng internal problems sa ERC. Doon na ho natapos yun at magmula noon wala na ho kaming narinig sa ERC after po nung huling sulat na yon. That was in 2017. And 2022 until 2022, between 2017 to 2022.
Sa ERC. So, ma'am, yung sa NGCP po kasi you have promised that you will convene the 3 majority and ikaw nag-dissent sa kasi Catherine Maceda. So, because alam naman po natin sa draft final determination ay nakapasok doon po yung mga proyekto na hindi po use and useful, i-charge sa taong bayan. 204 billion po yan. Kasi bago ako mag-segue sa Meralco, briefly lang to. Kasi you have promised to us that next week, sabi nyo, mag-meeting na po kayo. So what happened po?
Mr. Chair.
Honorable Mona Lisa, you are recognized.
Katulad po ng naibahagi namin last time, naupo na po yung Commission and Bank para simulan yung deliberation. So nasimulan na po namin ito. Una naming tinalakay yung mga comments na nanggaling po sa stakeholders coming from the publication or posting of the draft. Pero hindi pa po namin tapos, Mr. Chair, kasi madami pong comments yung nagmula po sa stakeholders. So uupuan po namin ulit ito next week. Hopefully po ay matapos na po namin within February para po March yung mismong naisulat na desisyon, mailabas na po ng first part.
Maraming salamat po. Siguro tanongin ko po yung si Commissioner Puentes and Commissioner Dingal, no? Siguro pupunta na lang ako doon sa issue nung because you have a different opinion on the initial determination, di ba? Saka doon sa final determination. Magkaiba eh. Magkaiba yun. And you know all about this, di ba? Na doon po sa initial, naging unanimous ang decision yung lahat. Hindi ko po na-question kasi we don't have the power of this committee is to yung pong oversight. Makita namin kung na-implement po ng tama even your rules that you are being implemented and in violation. Kasi tandaan po ninyo under 34F ng EPIRA, the transmission utility, di ba? Yung mga hindi po use and useful, hindi efficient, ay hindi kailangang makasama doon po sa tinatawag nating charge sa ating mga consumer. Very klaro po ang batas. And now, doon po sa draft final determination, sinasabi nyo, yung mga hindi useful, i-charge na natin sa taong bayan. So, Ma'am Digal, hindi po ako makikialam sa decision nyo, but what do you think about the decision that you have signed on approving the draft final determination on including all the CAPEX na ginagawa at hindi pa napapakinabangan i-charge sa taong bayan?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, ang position po kasi namin is pagdating po kasi sa transmission, yan pong paggamit ng methodology na ang regulated entity ay binibigyan na ng parang ini-include na po sa kanyang RAB, yung kung ano po yung nagagastos niya, yan po ay hindi bago. Magmula po sa second RP hanggang third RP po, ganyan na po yung nakalagay dun sa RTWR. Yun po yung rules para sa transmission company. So para po sa amin, ang nagbago lang po dahil nag-lapse period, yung nilagay po namin sa Article 4. Na ngayon po, na instead po na forecast yung ating gagamitin, yung actual na lamang po. Pero yun pong kung paano po itatrato yung ginastos, hindi naman po yun nagbago. So nandoon pa rin po yun, doon sa rules
yes, Ma'am
ngayon.
Commissioner. But you have a new set of rules under the new RDWR na sinasabi doon na use and useful lang. At at the same time, yung NCL nyo, saka yung Royal Asian Appraisal, sinasabi, hindi kasama yung mga hindi useful. And that's the reason why they come out with the 13.3 billion na makakasama doon sa capex nila. Not the one that was applied by the NGCP. Kumuha kayo ng ng consultant, binayaran nyo nga ng 12 million saka 48 million, di ba?
Yes, Mr.
So,
Chair,
bakit
Your
hindi
Honor.
po natin sinunod yung kanilang recommendation na hindi po natin dapat isama yung mga hindi pa napapakinabangan. And at the same time, ang batas is very klaro. Sinasabi na kailangan efficient. Na meron ng efficient na yung asset. Kailangan napapakinabangan na bago mo siya i-charge. I know where you're coming from. Kasi before, yun yung panuntunan ng ERC. Unfortunately, mayroon na kayong bagong rules. At sa bagong rules na sinasabi ng RTWR nyo, ng rules on transmission, RTWR, sinasabi na hindi na. Kailangan yung use and useful na.
With all due respect, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, yung pong ating RTWR ngayon, wala pong nagbago doon magmula doon sa unang RTWR, kundi lang po yung pagtrato kung anong datos yung
Can you kindly
gagamitin.
explain this, Commissioner Maceda, if I may ask you about the rules on the sa paggamit po ng mga capex na hindi pa po siya napapakinabangan ay charge sa taong bayan? Because I read, hindi ko lang makita ngayon ang daming dokumento rito, I don't know where to find it, but I read that pagdating po sa appreciation noong mga assets na hindi pa po siya nagagamit at useful, ay hindi mo siya dapat i-charge sa consumer. Can you kindly explain this? Because I read your dissenting opinion.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Sige po. In the RTWR that was applied by the Commission for the 4th regulatory period, having been a lapse period, there is a new set of rules actually with a very distinct Article 4. And Article 4, hindi nyo po ito makikitang article na to sa mga nakaraang rules. Kaya yung sinasabi ni Commissioner Resi na practically, ginamit din namin yung rules na ginagamit noon, generally that is correct, except that in the RTWR for the 4th regulatory period, there is an Article 4 which says that we will be using actual and historical data in terms of determining the rates for the 4th regulatory period. Kasi ang punto po doon, hindi po katulad ng PBR sa mga nakaraang kaso. Forecast po kasi yun eh. Hindi pa ho lumalagpas yung mga taon. Dito po sa 2016 hanggang 2022 na ginamit namin na lapse period na yan. Sabi namin lapse period yan no, sa NGCP. Tapos na ho yung panahon eh, hindi na ho pwede mag-forecast. So, under Article 4, it's actually an exception to the general rule eh, na kung lumagpas na yan, alam mo na yun natayo at hindi na mga assets. Bakit mo pa i-allow yung alam mong hindi na natayo na assets? Yun po yung basihan ng Article 4. Based on that, sa Article 4, malinaw din po na sinasabi doon, based on efficient capex, no, ang i-approve ng komisyon. Paano po ma-determine na efficient ang isang asset kung hindi pa natatayo? Eh, hindi mo pa nga nagagamit. So, isa pa po yun sa critical feature ng Article 4. So, dapat to, para maintindihan natin itong napakalaking issue na to, malinaw po dapat sa pag-intindi at pananaw natin, ano ba ang pagkakaiba ng 2016 hanggang 2022 at dun sa 5th RP na prospective. Parating pa lang yung mga panahon na yun eh. Kaya under the PBR, based on the forecasting model, inaalaw ho ng komisyon naman na, sige, kunyari ako po yung transmission utility, bala ko magtayo ng ganito, no? By 2 years from now, nakatayo na yan, or 3 years from now. And in order to encourage po, no, the development of the assets, pinapayagan po yun. But then again, for Article 4, hindi po yun applicable sa mga hindi pa natatayong mga assets.
Yun na nga. Kaya nga, Commissioner Digal, having said that, no, nadinig ko nga, yung Article 4, nabasa ko din yan. Now, I can recall, no, na doon sa sinabi ng rules ninyo na yung mga proyekto, no, na hindi pa natatapos ay hindi mo ma-charge sa ating mga kababayan dahil nga ang sinasabing provision doon collating all the historical and actual information. Because tapos na nga eh. Tapos na yung 2016 to 2020 eh. So in other words, wala ka nang looking forward. Kasi nga, yung PBR is a looking forward forecasting. Diba? Ipo-forecast mo, like for example, next year, magko-compute ka ng 2026 to 2030. Ipo-forecast mo nga naman siya. Diba? Pero dito, sinasabi nung Article 4, tapos na to eh. 2016 to 2020, andyan na yung actual eh. Ano yung actual na ginawa? Ano yung actual na efficient na? Eh kung hindi pa siya tapos at delayed siya ng 8 taon at hanggang ngayon, ginagawa pa, efficient ba yun? Di ba't hindi? So bakit natin isasama ang 204 billion na capex ng NGCP kung hindi pa siya efficient? And according to your NCL na consultant and yung appraisal ng Royal Appraisal Corporation Company or something, hindi ko maintindihan, sabi nila, hindi pa pwede yun kasi hindi pa siya efficient.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, siguro po, doon nga po kami nagkakaiba ng pananaw at ng interpretasyon kung ano po yung sinasabi namin sa Article 4. Kung tungkol po doon sa efficiency naman po yung pag-uusapan, siguro po sa parte ko, hindi po maaaring sabihin na wala pong naging efficiency evaluation dahil ilan po sa mga capex na pinag-uusapan natin ay pre-approve naman namin. Kumbaga, na-evaluate na rin na po naman yan kung yan ay dapat maitayo o hindi at kung yung iba nga po dyan may presyo na rin, may actual cost na. Ang sinasabi lang naman po namin, ang nasa rules po, wala naman po siyang specific po na as commissioned and as spent. Ang nasa rules po namin ay i-consider namin kung ano po yung actual tsaka po yung historical. Which kapag binangga po natin doon sa RTWR na existing na hindi naman po na bago yung ibang provision.
So Commissioner, para makat lang kita, naintindihan ko ang sinasabi mo. So ibig mo sabihin, ano nagiging basis nyo to consider all those capex na hindi siya tapos but you are considering that as efficient? Ano naging basis nyo?
Sabi ko nga po, hindi po ito bago doon sa RTWR ngayon. Dati na po yan ganon.
I know. Ginagawa na yan dati. Pero ngayon nga, sa bagong rules ng RTWR, nagkaroon kayo ng Article 4 na sinasabi, kumuha nga kayo ng appraisal eh. So binayaran nga natin ng almost 50 million plus para sila mag-assess ng lahat ng, am I correct? That you have hired, nag-procure kayo ng Royal Asia Appraisal Company and NCL? Can you kindly tell me? Inibitahan natin nung andito ba? Okay, consultant. Sige, tell us. So, yung mga na-assess nyo, na-appraise nyo mga assets, anong category nila? Kailangan ba nating i-charge sa tao yung mga asset na yon or not?
Ms. Tampingo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Your Honor, bali dun sa assessment po namin, well, just focusing on our scope of work. Yung scope of work po kasi namin talaga is to calculate yung regulatory asset base. Well, para po dun sa part of NCL, for example, yun po, para i-recalculate yung regulatory asset base po ng NGCP. And sa pag-consider po ng regulatory asset base and yung calculation po namin as part of the scope of work, dalawa po yun. So, closing RAB po ng 3RP and closing RAB din po ng 4RP. Meaning, yun po yung magiging opening RAB ng 4RP tsaka opening RAB ng 5th RP. Yun po. So doon po sa calculation po na yon, ang ano po talaga namin, ang position po talaga namin and recommendation to the commission is talaga pong commissioned assets lang. Yun nga po, nasabi nyo nga po is yung used and useful lang, yun lang po talaga. Lalo na po considering opening RAB. Kasi po sa opening RAB, dapat po ang talagang nandun lang sa opening RAB is yung existing na assets and ginagamit na po na assets. Ngayon, ang mahirap po kasi dito, Your Honor, katulad nga po ng sinabi na po ng ERC, is magkaiba po kasi yung 3RP tsaka 4RP. Yung 3RP po kasi nung time na kung susundin mo yung dating ginawa, meron pong valuation para maka-come out po with an opening RAB, tas meron pong review of CAPEX para po ilagay every year doon na idadagdag po sa opening RAB. Opo. Pero dito po sa nangyari sa 4th RP, naging yun nga po, sabi nyo nga po, naging actual na kasi natapos na po. So with the fact na natapos na, ang position po namin for RAB po talaga, especially for opening RAB, closing RAB, yun po talagang used and useful assets lang, commissioned assets lang po.
Okay, cut na kita doon.
Yes po.
Ma'am, nakuha ko na yung point nyo. So you have recommended that the used and useful must be considered on the opening and the closing RAB of
Yes
the 3rd
po.
and 4th.
Yes po.
And at the same time, yung CAPEX natin, na iba kasi yung opening sa closing doon sa RAB, di ba?
Opo.
So ngayon, ang tanong, yan ma'am, having said that, nadinig niyo, Commissioner, that the recommendation of your consultant, which we paid, almost, magkano? Magkano binayad siya? 12 million or 48 million?
29 po, kasi
29.
combined na po yung expenditure review tsaka
yung
RAB.
royal appraisal, magkano?
Yung dalawang projects po yung pinaghiwalay.
Yes, I know.
12 po for RAB, 30 po for expenditure.
So yung kabila, magkano ma'am?
29 po RAB and expenditure review
Pareho
combined.
yung royal appraisal?
Magkaiba po.
Magkano
Magkaiba po.
royal appraisal? Magkano ma'am?
Yung royal po 12 sa RAB, 30 po sa expenditure review,
That is total of how much?
42 po.
42 million.
Apo.
At kayo, NCL, ang magkano total?
29 po pero combined na po RAB and expenditure review.
Commissioner Dinggal, we have paid almost 60 million for this. And now, kukontrahin nyo yung sinasabi ng consultant natin?
Doon
Kung
po,
kumbaga, iba yung appreciation nyo doon sa consultant na ginawa nila na comprehensive.
Pwede po na doon po muna sa opening RAB. Doon po kasi sa opening RAB, siya na rin po ang nagsabi or yung consultant na rin po yung nagsabi, ibang-iba po kasi yung setup from 3rd to the 4th. Sa opening RAB po, kaya po namin hindi na-adapt yung kanilang numbers kasi po may nakita po kami na mga numero na yung mismong pinagmulan nilang number may adjustments.
Yes.
So ang ginapit po namin
Wait.
yung may adjustments.
Okay, ang ginamit nyo adjustment is doon sa tinatawag nating RAB na using ay yung ODRC na inflated.
I think we
Kasi
already...
kasama yun sa closing RAB nila eh. Yung ODRC, correct? Oh. So, ang WACC nyo, inflated din. Dahil ang ginamit nyo, nominal. So, double inflation kayo. Kaya, alam mo, hindi kayo lulusot dito eh, Commissioner eh. Kasi alam ko na naman lahat yan eh. Double inflation, kaya ang sinasabi ng consultant nyo, isang inflation lang. It's either ODRC or real WACC. Di ba real WACC nyo is kalahati ng WACC nyo na nominal? Am I correct? Pauline.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, hindi po kasi ako WACC expert so hindi ko po
Sinong, si Mr. Non. I read one of your article about this double inflation. Can you kindly explain to us yung double inflation that was catered by the third regulatory period because of the decision of the Supreme Court?
Mr. Non, you are recognized.
Siguro before I go into that, may I explain something do sa unang discussion on the revised Article 4
Sige, go
ng
ahead, sir.
RTWR. Kasi po yung Article 4 na sinasabi nilang revision ng RTWR is only applicable during a lapse period. Hindi siya applicable in any regular period.
Oh.
So, pagdating po sa transmission or even sa distribution, yung lapse period, wala siyang forecast. So, ang question do sa lapse period, ano ang gagamitin nating paraan para makakuha ng rate? So, during that period, hindi na pwede ang forward-looking, yung ex ante na tinatawag. So, for purposes of setting the rate, ex post na tayo, meaning historical lang tayo. Kaya yung Article 4 na sinasabi nila for transmission, yun ang paraan para makakuha ng rate during the lapse period lang. So sabi doon, kukunin natin yung actual expenses during that period at yun ang gagamitin nating basis to determine kung ano yung revenue requirement or tinatawag nilang cost of service. Pag nakuha natin yon, i-divide natin dun sa energy sales or volume, yun ang rate.
Yeah, tama. Correct.
Okay, so ibig sabihin, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-assign ng rate kung hindi natin gagawin yung exercise na kukunin yung revenue requirement or cost of service.
And I think it doesn't make sense, Commissioner Dingal, it doesn't make sense na lapse na nga, nakaraan na Tapos ipo-forecast mo yung nakaraan?
Yes.
How can you forecast din nakaraan kung meron ka ng actual data, meron ka ng actual information? And that's wrong appreciation of Article 4. Now, if I cannot change your decision on this matter, well, katulad ng binanggit ko sa inyo nung nasa opisina kayo, hahabulin kayo ng pagkakataon. Maniwala kayo. Anyway, siguro, doon na muna tayo sa ODRC and also the double inflation. Kasi nagkaroon ng double inflation to Kaya nga ang desisyon ng consultant nyo is mababa yung opening RAB ng fourth regulatory period because of the decision of the Supreme Court on making it void, yung ODRC, because ang WACC is already inflated. 1497 na. Ang sabi ni Romulo Neri, 8.97%. So, dalawang inflation, isang sa regulatory asset base at isa sa WACC, double whammy ang ating mga kababayan. Dalawa ang sinisingil. Kaya nga makikita mo din sa Meralco Makikita mo yung kanilang audited financial statement sa kanilang provision for loss. Meron silang meron silang 10 billion, 9 billion 2016 to 2020. Sige, pakita natin. Pakita natin para makita ng ating mga kababayan that this is not something that is unusual in an audited financial statement of the Meralco because makikita natin na meron silang provision for loss. Hindi yan, yung isa. So, bakit tayo may provision for loss? So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong kinikita na inilalaan natin sa pagbabayad ng refund. Di ba? O yan. So, Meralco, can you kindly confirm that, zoom natin sa 2011, 2012, meron kayong 9 billion provision for loss. Meron kayong 2013, provision for losses. Can you kindly explain to us, Meralco, what is the provision for losses that you put in your audited financial statement? Because hindi ako CPA. Most likely, sino ba CPA dito? Who can explain to us, as a commissioner, sino mga CPA? Commissioner nun, are you a CPA? Sige. Meralco muna. Can you kindly explain to us why do you have a provision for loss? Ano po itong provision na to na nakalagay po sa inyong financial statement? Every year, meron po kayo. Start na lang po natin yung 2012 dahil doon po tayo nagkaroon ng problema sa third regulatory period. Diyan po tayo nagkaroon ng double inflation, inflated na ang ODRC, inflated pa ang WACC. Meralco, please.
Your Honor, permission to speak?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Attorney Pales.
Pardon me, Your Honor, hindi po ako certified public accountant or involved sa financial accounting or sa finance lang. But just the same, my understanding is of the provision for losses is you set aside money to cover potential losses.
Yes, and if that is the case, kung siya may provision sa loss, this money, ano to, hindi ako CPA, pero constitute as your revenue as well. Tama?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, hindi ko po masasagot dahil...
Attorney Non, anong appreciation niyo dyan?
Hindi po ako attorney.
CPA pala. Sorry po, sorry.
Siguro, umpisa natin yung third regulatory period. na tatawag. Nung magsabit ang Meralco ng application for the third regulatory period, yung computation nila ng return on capital, ginamitan nila ng regulatory asset base na ang valuation ay ODRC, or Optimized Depreciated Replacement Cost, which the Supreme Court voided in 2019. So, nung ginamit nila yung ODRC sa beginning sa RAB, tapos nung kinompute nila yung return on capital, ginamitan din nila ng WACC na nominal. So, ibig sabihin, may inflation ang WACC, may inflation ang RAB. Yun ang dobling inflation. Kaya lumalabas, halimbawa, 2012, pag ikinompute natin yung nandoon sa application or final determination ng Meralco, lumalabas ang kanilang return on capital ay 19 billion. Pero pag ginamit natin ay historical RAB, na gagamitan mo ng nominal WACC, or yung optimized depreciated replacement cost na RAB, gagamitin mo ng real WACC, ang return on capital, mga 10 billion lang.
Yan, naintindihan ko yan.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin, sobra ng 9 billion yung 2012 lang. Ngayon, ano relationship niya doon sa financial statement? Hindi ko alam kung paano ginawa ng Meralco financial statement nila. Pero pag binasa mo yung kanilang notes to financial statements, merong nakalagay doon na Meralco provides for any possible loss for over-recoveries. Yun lang, walang masyadong detalya kung saan, paano kinumputan nanggaling. Pero yung provision nila na yun, kabawasan sa kanilang revenue. At inilalagay nila sa liability. So, ibig sabihin, at that point, na nirecognize yung provision, nirecognize na rin nila yung obligation.
But, I think it's part of the revenue.
Yeah,
Because
kaya nga dinidak nila sa meron silang gross revenue, tapos meron silang provision for loss kasama ng operating expenses.
Ngayon, kung...
so, net income nila bababa.
Attorney Ballas, wala kayong finance officer or matters that deals with this, wala kayong kasama CPA?
Baka pwede pong sagutin na lang namin in a written document yung
Huwag mo documents kasi kailangan natin dito para malaman po natin.
Hindi po namin masasagot dahil pareho po kaming abogado at hindi po involved sa...
Kasi Attorney Ballas, if ever that this will form part of the revenue of Meralco, which is I have seen in your audited financial statement, the 10 billion every year, then may problem tayo sa ating mga shareholder. Am I correct? Because kayo po ay IPO. Am I correct?
Hindi ko po talaga masasagot, Your Honor.
Can you kindly, in the next hearing, Mr. Chairman, I'll be asking the people who are responsible for this. Kasi po to, medyo complicated and I don't want to dwell on this without the proper personalities coming from the Meralco para to give us guidance as well. Because when you see the audited financial statement and having that kind of revenue putting in the provision of losses, then kung meron kayong provision for losses, sinasabi lamang, meron talagang mali doon sa over-recovery that
Congressman Dan
Yes, sir.
Fernandez, may I know if Bennett Bachoco, because I think you are the, ano tong DU?
Distribution utility.
Utility Finance and Financial Planning and Reporting. So maybe you can answer this.
Your Honor, if I may.
Si Bachoco, nandito ba si Bachoco?
sa Ross yan, hindi alam ba nila yan?
Wala.
No, she's here, Your Honor.
Okay. Nag-oath ba yung si Bachoco, Comsec?
Si Attorney Pamintuan nata wanted to answer. Sige, sir.
No,
Yes.
We have Ms. Bachoco with us, Your Honor.
Okay, please.
But we just wanted to clarify, Your Honor, that in terms of the provision for losses, as we understand, because we're lawyers, we just understand in general that these are just accounting terms that are provided for to answer for any losses or liability that the company may incur.
And among these will be over recoveries, as Mr. Non mentioned, which is a regular feature or regularly being undertaken in the regulatory process, Your Honor.
Yeah, thank you. That's confirm my kanina mga sinabi ko that because of this non-computation or wala tayong reset, kaya po tayo nagkakaroon ng ganitong over-recovery because we have charged our consumer 1 peso and 38 cents since then hanggang ngayon. Kaya nagkakaroon ng over-recovery na ganyang kalaki. Tingnan niyo yung over-recovery na 2016 hanggang 2020 lang yan. Paano yung sa third regulatory period? Nagkaroon din ng double inflation. Paano yung 2021 hanggang ngayon? So, ayun, going back to yung sa double inflation. So, Miss Christine Tampingo, that's the reason why yung inyo pong opening rub para sa fourth regulatory ay mababa because ginawa nyo ay isa lang ang inflation. Am I correct?
Yung pong methodology na in-employ po namin, pareho po dun consistent po dun sa rules. So yung sa may dalawa po kasi kaming naging calculation nung RAB. May isa pong through a process na I think na-mention nyo na po earlier na I'm sure nabasa nyo na rin po yung mga documents regarding that. So merong naging recalculation of the regulatory asset base ng, wait po, Meralco po ba tayo? Or NGCP? Nalilito na ako.
Hindi,
NGCP
natin
po ba?
yung NGCP muna.
NGCP.
Kasi actually, nagsesegue na rin tayo sa Meralco.
Sorry.
Pero para sa ng mga kababayan natin, almost the same naman ang problem ng NGCP sa ng Meralco. Kaya kanina nakikiusap na ako eh. Alam niyo, nakikiusap na po talaga ako. Mag-reset na po tayo. Kasi talagang, well, alam naman ng Meralco to, yung ating confirmatory process, di ba? Yung, alam naman natin na yung hindi naman po siya nakaset sa international standard na methodology because walang computation po ng WACC, walang computation ng regulatory asset base, wala kayong opening RAB, wala kayong closing RAB, wala kayong depreciation. At yung kinompute nung 2011 na 1.38, 1 peso and 38 cents, hanggang ngayon yun ang sinisingil nyo sa taong bayan. Ang sinasabi po natin, yung pong lapse period na ginawa po nating methodology ng ERC, hindi nyo kasalanan. Sila, katulad ng sinasabi ko sa NGCP, hindi nyo kasalanan. Sila, ERC. Kaya meron tayong regulatory failure eh. Kaya dito namin nilagay sa good government. Because mali po ang ginagawa ninyo. Hinahayaan nyo. Kailangan kayo yung pinaka-safeguard, safe namin, the last resort ng kababayan natin eh. Hindi na po namin kailangan mag-intervene. Kung ginagawa nyo lamang yung tungkulin nyo. I'm not talking about Mona Lisa and Catherine Mendoza because I read all your dissenting opinion. Because the 3 commissioners, I have read your decision. Talagang, hindi nyo in-appreciate yung double inflation eh. Utos ng Supreme Court yun, di ba? Commissioner Tingal.
Mr. Chairman,
yes.
There's a raise of hands of Commissioner Fuentes of the majority. Can we also recognize them, the majority?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Commissioner Fuentes.
Commissioner Fuentes, you are
Mr.
recognized.
Chair, I am a CPA. I am the only CPA in the commission. Just going, siguro, this is in aid of legislation to help also appreciate things. Yung provision, that is a standard in accounting wherein if there would be gains, it will not be recognized unless it will be realized. So that's conservatism. Pero if there would be losses, that would be probable losses, the accounting standards says that we should provide provision as expense so that the shareholders will not be expecting gains that won't be realized and expenses would be realized or will be incurred in the future. So kumbaga, kung may gastos po in the future, mas mabuti pa yung i-record natin as expense ngayon kaysa naman hindi, tapos in the future, magiging expense. So that's how accounting standards work. And then also on the report of the...
Punta muna tayo doon, Commissioner Fuentes.
Yes,
Meron
po.
lang ako tatanong. I should
Mr.
agree.
Chairman, can we have him finish? Because he's responding to Ms. Tampinco, which we have heard already. So can we just therefore have him finish and then the congressman
I will allow,
Dan-
I will
Yeah,
allow
just finish.
Congressman Rupus para
No, just
hindi kami magtatalo this time.
majority.
Sige, go ahead.
Yes,
Sige, tuloy
Commissioner
mo.
Fuentes, please proceed with your explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pero rest assured, Mr. Chair, the Commission is very
Sige, go
is
ahead.
united in we will really have a reset. Yun yung talagang gusto talaga namin ever since in 2020, gustong-gusto namin magkaroon ng reset. But on the report of the consultant, again, I also is before may consultancy rin ako. So, it's a guide. Ang consultant's report is a guide. Now, on the ODRC nila, it's true. We cannot use the ODRC because of the court rulings. But there was opening RAB in the third RP na nanggaling sa second RP, nagkaroon ng various adjustments because nga ODRC yun. So, nagkaroon ng series of adjustments and then came up with an adjusted balance as opening RAB in the third RP. So, yun yung sa sinabi ko previously na sa PID, naka-reserve ako doon. Sinabi ko na meron tayong approved opening RAB. And then that was what we used in the final determination. So, yun po yung ma-comment ko din doon sa report ng consultant po.
Pero, okay, Commissioner, kasi sinabi mo kanina that you are all for the reset, di ba?
Of course, yes sir, yes sir.
Kung tayo po ay for reset, and you all know that ever since, no,